quote Rob Oakeshott, sunshine is the best disinfectant. And we've agreed to far-reaching reforms that make me as Prime Minister and our government and how it functions more accountable to the Australian people. So let's draw back the curtains and let the sunshine in.
Good morning, that's what you've got. Queen Julia has become hippie Julia, letting the sunshine in. If only this was all fair dinkum. If only it was fair dinkum. It isn't. The government is there because of grubby deals with some grubby people overwhelmed by their moment of blinding power. Wouldn't shut up yesterday going on about it, basking in it. If there's any sunshine they were basking in the sunshine of power. Now, the other side wasn't indifferent, of course. Tony Abbott would have done exactly the same thing without the hippie twist. But this leaves Australia in an awful position. Government paralysed and bills to pay. Now, if you live in the city, you're going to pay the price. Just think about it. There's more money for the bush, a $9.9 billion package. Now, it's true some of that is old money and some of it's delayed. But if the bottom line doesn't change, if it doesn't mean more debt, as the government promises, then the money has to come from somewhere. And it has to be from the city. It's moved from the city to the bush. Broadband. That's one obvious area. Rural Australia will pay the same broadband costs as metropolitan Australia, although obviously it costs a lot more to get it there, and they're going to get it first. So you'll be subsidising Oyen from Fitzroy. And overall, the $10 billion has got to come from somewhere. There'll be more money for regional hospitals, for example, which must mean, if they stay in budget, less money for city hospitals. I'll talk to the Health Minister about that in a moment. Look, this might be terrific for the bush, and the bush at times gets a rough deal, but there is no question the city will pay because these independents have bullied the government into it. Now, I want to take a lot of calls today because I think voters have really been disenfranchised here since the election. All right, there was equivocation at the election from the Australian voters because neither side was any good. They were political pygmies, as Laurie Oakes called them. 96900 693 13 13 32. But you've been disenfranchised. Now, this has got nothing to do with you. You didn't vote for any of this, or most of it. Julia Gillard has not been elected by the people. She's been elected by the system. Now, that's fair enough. As Tony Abbott said yesterday, that's how the system works. But don't ignore the division here. Tony Abbott got the most first preference votes. He got the most seats. He got the most, not just, but the most two-party preferred votes. Most seats, most first preference, most two-party preferred, and he's not Prime Minister. Does this mean this government is illegitimate? Well, no. That's how our system works. But on top of that, we've got Tony Windsor, one of the independents, saying yesterday that Tony Abbott would win an election if it was held today.
And I think if there was a hung parliament with the coalition in government, that they'd rush off to the polls as soon as they could.
So why do you think that an Abbott government and Tony Abbott as Prime Minister would be more likely to go to the polls early?
Because I think they'd be more likely to win if they did go back to the polls.
Well, there you are. So after believing that, after he thought that the coalition was more likely to win, he supported Labor. Where is the morality in that? 96900 693 13 13 32. Do you want another election? Or you just had enough of it? Just get on with it?